Hello everyone, Dan14 Prime here. Want to do a video share out today with you guys on the Prime 1 Studios quarter scale Injustice 2 Superman. There are two editions of this statue, the regular version, which is $800 with an edition size of $250, and the exclusive version, which I have here, which comes with all that stuff on the table on the right, which we'll take a look at, $1,000 with an edition size of $200. Let's jump in closer. Let me show you the various parts and assembly for this statue. Now, because this is the deluxe with so many extra pieces, this came in a box. It's like the size of a 1/3 statue box. Not two boxes like a 1/3 typically would, but one of those sizes of boxes. Check out my Instagram, same handle, Dan14 Prime, where you see that big box compared to the Sideshow Collectibles Flash quarter scale box. Huge difference, which unfortunately was $179 to ship from Sideshow. So when you're starting off putting this guy together, the crux of him is a few simple pieces. All of this body is one long piece that pegs into the base down there at the ankle and makes for a very odd ankle position. It looks a little unnatural. I'll show you that when we get in a bit closer. This beautiful cape that you see here comes out like stiff as a freaking kite. You've got to bend it, work with it. It basically jams down into some slots up here just through tension and friction, holds down in there. I don't love that, would have preferred magnets. But this cape is just like a beautiful red velvet. It's wired all the way down the sides and across the bottom. So you can really pose this thing any number of ways. This is sort of my first shot at trying to make some sense of it. And then this big crushed Daily Planet base with all of the Brainiac tentacles coming out of it. Is one big piece, again, pretty hefty because of the pose. You need some good anchoring. So for quarter scale, this is a big piece, by the way. It's, dang near 29 inches tall because of this elevation. And because of the really dynamic look of that flight pose, he needs a hefty base to keep him anchored. Now, all of these Brainiac tentacles, there's 4 of them. They're all separate. You just plug them in. Unfortunately, they're not like color-coded, so you have to kind of work with it. Mine really flattened out of the box, but with a hairdryer, you can warm them up and then bend them and get them to look cool and curvy, which is what I spent some time doing before the video. For me, I also want them to be a little more compact. I mean, I don't want this thing flaring, 17, 18, 19 inches wide, so I try to make things tight, come up, be nice and round. So you'll need to work with that a little bit. It was the most painful part of the assembly, actually, just finding where these things best go, because these 3 kind of look the same out of the box, especially when they flatten out. And then just working with them to get the right pose. Will take a little time, but well worth it in terms of the end result. And why don't I just, while I'm here and I'm looking at it, I can't unsee this sometimes, but you don't notice it as much from straight on. I mentioned the ankle is a bit unnatural because of the flight pose. It is like almost flat. I mean, it's got a little bit of bend there, but no one's ankle can do that. I mean, not without like totally disconnecting. So it looks a bit funky from some of those angles. I thought they did it a bit better with Hush, where it's more, it's got a more natural angle. At the same time, this looks more like he's truly flying off and less maybe standing on the base. So I understand why they did it, but you get a weird ankle position. But from the front, it's nothing really you notice. So with your regular edition statue, this is then what you're going to get to fit out the statue. Just one set of arms, closed fist, the chest plate, Superman, and one head sculpt. So to finish off the regular version here, just very normal, pegs and light magnets for the arms and all the pieces. Here we've got the regular head sculpt. Really good. And weird thing, he's got like some hair here in the corner. They don't give him that on the other side. The other head sculpt's the same way. So I guess it's just something with the reference, or definitely was intentional. Love this armor look on him. I'll talk more about it in the concept, but very, very good. And the hair, it's blackish, but not like a jet black, but very dark. And then finally, you get the Superman shield. So this is your standard, what I say, $800 version. A lot of money for a quarter scale statue, but again, thing near 29 inches tall. Just intricate, just beautiful. I mean, I don't have another statue like this. I mean, this is really some next level stuff. I mean, it's just crazy. We'll talk more about it in sculpt and paint and all that stuff, but I mean, hopefully you're picking it up just in the pan. I mean, just all of this detail sculpted in, the paint, the high gloss finish, the matte finish. It's really, really amazing, really beautiful. Then for the exclusive, you get all these extras. Exclusive arms here. Another set of exclusive arms with no hands where you can then interchange like the regular edition fist or the exclusive sort of look. And then 2 extra head sculpts. This one being the money shot. Just scorched earth. Pissed off Superman. That looks awesome. And I'll explain that a bit when we get into the concept. And then here they have his unarmored look. Again, video game inspired, but, you know, seems to draw maybe just a little bit of Henry Cavill in there, but, you know, not enough to have to cut the guy a check or anything. So lots of goodies with the exclusive. And also this sort of special Brainiac Superman insignia, which has to do with the end of the game, should you win through the game with Superman. All right, so let's put some of this together, and of course, let's just go ahead and not mess around. Let's start off with the big scorched earth headshot. Yeah, that's a great portrait. We'll go with these kind of flaring arms. This is a cool look too. It's one of my favorites for the statue. And why not? We'll just go ahead and throw on the Brainiac insignia. So we get this here, kind of like he's winding up to just really throw down something down to his right in his direction. And then these arms with the swap out hands. And honestly, I don't know why they didn't just make all of the arms work with just these 2 hands, even the base edition, then you could have at least a little bit of extra. I don't get why it was just these one set. We'll just put the fists on here first, which again would sort of be like the basic look, or the regular look of the statue is what I mean. And I'll take it back a little bit. I mean, these ARG hands that you swap out, they're, you know, a little bit different than the ones fixed on the deluxe exclusive arm. So slightly different. They're even more ARGed and articulated, bent than the main arm. So we just unpeg those bad boys. Again, nice light little magnet. Drop those in. Got another one. This one might actually be my favorite. More arms down with the open hands than arms up. And while we go ahead and put the regular logo back on. I don't know that I'll use that Brainiac one much. I do have that Brainiac coming though, so these are gonna look dope together. Then last up, again, the unarmored head sculpt. My least favorite of them. It's pretty good, I guess. I mean, it's all right. Eyes look pretty good. They're shiny. Yeah, you know, it's solid, but it's just not as good as the other 2, I think. Something about the skin or skin tone, maybe sort of like chalky pale. I don't know what it is, but it's an option. And what's cool with these 3 head sculpts, I mean, you get wide, you know, varying degrees of like emotion, and therefore, you know, what you display from the statue. This is like super soft, right? No armor, just sort of looking down, kind of gentle, versus the red-eyed, scorched earth one. So that's what I like about these head sculpts, is they're all really kind of completely different looks for Supes. Okay, so that's more or less the unboxing and the parts and the assembly. And again, if you actually want to see the box, check out the Instagram, same handle, Dan14Prime. So I want to get into now my thoughts on the piece. I'll start off with the concept and design. Now again, the concept is inspired from Injustice 2, which is a video game. But this video game does tie in a nice story across it, and they've also tied in comic books to it as well, just like Batman in Arkham. I'm not a gamer, I haven't played it. I do suggest, though, go out to YouTube and check out the video cuts, like the out movie cuts. It's epic. It's like 2.5 hours long. It took me a few sittings to watch it. But it is a damn good story. What they do is they juxtapose these 2 heroes. Batman is, of course, good and believes that the means to achieving good matters. But what they do is Superman in this storyline actually is he is good. He wants to help and save the world. But the means to the end are acceptable. So he'll kill 1 million people if it'll save 1 billion people type thing. So that's how they put those two against each other. And it's not the most novel idea. I mean, that's a well-paved road for storytelling and writing. But it works awesome for these two in the story, and the way it's told through the video game and the graphics and the costumes really make it very, very good. So I recommend it. Check it out. Again, people post videos like that on YouTube where they just cut it up and you can just sit there and watch it. And I will just add the extra twist for Injustice 2 is Brainiac is the main villain, so he's coming. I've got him. He's supposed to ship here in a matter of any day now. Now, when this piece came out, I didn't even give it a look. I mean, just like, oh, it's a video game piece. Like, I'm not a gamer. I don't know anything about it. Like, not my thing. But I was looking for another Superman statue. I've got the Hush 1/3, which is sort of like tick the box, classic epic, Jim Lee, right? So after that, what do you want to get? And got to looking at this one more and more, and what turned me on to this really is the look of the figure, aside from it just being a beautiful statue. And I don't collect statues just for the sake of having beautiful statues. They sort of have to tie back to context and content and sort of mean something to me from a comic book or experience perspective, which this piece does not necessarily do. But it does tie back in other ways because the outfit, it just reminds me of ceremonial Kryptonian wardrobe, kind of dressed up in Kryptonian ceremonial wear. So then I had to have it. And then on top of all that, just the pose of how they've done this from a concept design perspective is a home run. I mean, he's definitely sort of floating. And he's not straight up and down either. He's sort of at like a, I don't know, 5-degree angle, a little bit of a lean, a little bit of a forward lunge as well. So it's a very cool floating effect. And then everything that's in it from swapping out the arms, swapping out the heads, that concept just, it gives you so much to do with this statue. So I'm super, super happy with the concept. Let's get into Sculpt here next. And, what can you say? I mean, Prime 1, right? I mean, one of the best in the business, if not the. So let's just kind of get into it. Starting off with the base here, you can see, again, this crushed building effect. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's definitely, stone and wear in there. You got the Daily Planet sign, the Brainiac tentacles shooting up. You got like these kind of copper lines. I don't know if those are supposed to also be Brainiac things or what those are supposed to be, but then the foot of the base, a very nice sort of museum-esque, just really beautiful footer for this base and all these little faces come across on every corner. So it gives it a nice, clean, pristine footer. And it just rolls up into this rubble effect. Got to have a Superman sign on your Superman base, it seems like. So I do love this base, and then it just, these Brainiac arms, they just add so much. With just the flare and the roundness to them. Just all the wrapping around the base they do and the effect they give. Really, really cool. I think the base sculpted well, again, super relevant. Now let's get it up into Soups here. And really, it's the combination of paint and sculpt that really makes him just so epically beautiful. Not to mention that big flowing velvet cape. And oh, by the way, fabric, definitely the way to go on that. Sculpt cape, it wouldn't do it. You wouldn't get that red. You wouldn't get that velvet look to it. The fabric cape is definitely the way to go for that. It's one of the better, if not the best fabric capes like I've ever seen. I mean, that is nice. That is really nice. It's nicer than the one on my 1/3 Nightfall Batman. That is a nice cape right there in front of you. So the sculpting here, phenomenal. I mean, just the complexity of this outfit alone. I mean, there's so much in there. Start down at the boots. The boots have this ridge effect. It's like plates of armor, right? All sculpted in there. So that is all sculpted. You get up into this shiny armor, and you see lots of kind of plates sculpted in there. The armor is high gloss, shimmer. But again, you have this like layering sort of pieces, if you will, armored pieces effect going through there. Then it comes to this interior matte finish. I guess it'd be more like cloth, soft parts of his uniform. All these ridges layered. You just sort of feel Feel them just, ridge coming across. Then gets into the, got to protect the crotch. So we got the cod piece going on there. Got to protect the boys. But all this detail is like super finely sculpted in there. Just phenomenal here. You come up to this chest area. It's kind of some details, almost look like little like, I don't know, holes here. Pair of them. Hole. Just like little things like how the armor would, I guess, be assembling on him or something. It's cool. All these black lines through the high gloss armor. It's nice. Shoulder. Got this rigid silver and gold down protector. It's even got a pretty cool like back of the hand, back of the wrist into the back of the hand. Some armor there, again, into like a glove. And then just up through the chest. I mean, this sculpted again, it's all raised all through there. You can see some of this, and the collar. The collar is really nice. See how that's sort of got this raised collar all the way around his back. That looks good. And then the helmet comes around the back. The hair is all nice and brushed in, if you will. Very, very good. So excellent sculpt. Up next on paint. I mean, it's the strength of the piece as well. The colors are beautiful. High gloss, blue, shiny. Same with the red. Even through the chest, there's like a shimmer. The red is like shimmering. There's like a sparkle. It works great with the flatter, more worn blue, as well as even the silver and gold on the shoulders. A little worn slightly. Overall quality is pretty tight as well. I had one complaint of all my pieces. This guy here. I don't know if it's going to show up well on camera. Little sloppy. Like I can really see like brush strokes. Kind of sloppily outlined. Could probably live with it, except up here in the right-hand corner, it really gets kind of sloppy. So I've asked to see if I could get like a new chest piece. I hate to mess with the whole statue, but hopefully this piece is easily where they could send me a new one. I'd be happy to send that one back. Maybe someone can fix it. And really, even the only quality issues I could find other than that was, and these are like nothing. There's a little bit of red onto the gold right there, just super tiny. Little tiniest bit of like chip or something right there where the cape goes in. I might have done that. Who knows? I hate how the cape is like jammed in with this plastic base and you jam. Plus the wires are there as well. So yeah, I don't love it. Tiniest of white specks like in one of the black lines. So those are like so super microscopic. You don't even complain about them. I just notice them. But the moment you step back, you don't see any of that stuff. It's really just the chest piece for me that I hope they can get me an improved one. And then finally here on paint, shading, right? Shading. Critical. I talked a lot about it in my flash review. If you haven't seen that, check out my flash review. That thing is shaded to the nth degree, which is an interesting contrast to look at that piece and then look at this one. Because as I discussed in my flash review, how much shading is the right amount of shading? How does shading and sculpt work together? And I think it's good. I mean, all of those get a little bit of black on them. It's not overpowering though. It's not overpowering. It's a great complement to the sculpt, and it just shows some of the wear that would in the dirt that would accumulate in those pieces. So it makes a lot of sense, and it's a nice contrast to the pristine elements of the armor. And the gloves are probably one of the more heavily shaded areas, which would make some sense. He's definitely getting his hands dirty. So when you look at one of the hands here, much more shading and wear, particularly on the inside quite a bit, still quite a bit on the outside as well. But definitely the most heavily shaded spots of the statue. So I'm really pleased with the paint. I think the colors are awesome. The high gloss I love with the contrast with the matte particularly. The shading is of a great balance. So it's an excellent paint job and it complements this sculpt beautifully. So that's it, guys. Injustice 2 quarter scale Superman. It's a beautiful piece. I mean, this is the piece that pushed me over the hump of $1,000 quarter scale statues. I can see why. It's big, it's dynamic, it has presence, and sculpt and paint, are top notch as you would expect from Prime 1. So yeah, super happy I picked this up. Just so happy with it. To be my second big, Superman statue, up there with the 1/3 Hush. This guy definitely scratches the itch to have another soup statue. And again, I love it because it's so different, but at the same time, it's totally relevant for like a ceremonial Kryptonian Kal-El. Definitely looking forward now to getting that Brainiac and getting these two side by side because I think they're going to be a really good pair. So thanks for checking out the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps the channel out quite a bit. So thanks for your support there. If you're interested in picking this statue up, I'll put a link down below to Sideshow. I've got links to Sideshow, Amazon, eBay down below. You know, if anything the channel's ever helpful to you, easiest thing you can do to say thanks is hop those links below, do any of your shopping, pick up your collectibles, or really anything. Supports the channel, no cost to you, so thanks very much for that. Do appreciate it. Okay, be sure to stop back, check out the Brainiac statue. I'll see you next time.